10 signs you're more intelligent than you think. Have you ever sat in a room and felt like everyone around you just gets it faster than you do? Like there's some invisible frequency everyone else is tuned into, and you're just slightly off the signal? Here's what's actually happening. The traits that make you feel less intelligent, the self-doubt, the overthinking, the sensitivity, the late nights, those aren't signs of a slow brain. Science says they're actually some of the most reliable markers of a high-functioning mind. And sign number 10. That one is the trait almost every high performer in history has shared. Stay with me. Sign 1. You constantly doubt yourself. If you're always questioning whether you made the right call, whether you said the right thing, whether you actually know enough, that's not insecurity. That's metacognition. The Dunning-Kruger effect is one of the most replicated findings in psychology. It shows that people with low competence consistently overestimate their abilities, while people with genuine knowledge become increasingly aware of how much they still don't know. The more your brain understands, the more it sees the gaps. So that quiet voice asking, "But am I sure?" is not weakness. It's your intelligence checking its own work. Sign 2. You overthink everything. You replay conversations. You run through every possible outcome before making a decision. You imagine how something could go wrong 3 steps before it even starts. Most people see this as anxiety. Neuroscience sees it differently. Overthinking at its core is your brain running simulations, testing scenarios, stress testing decisions, preparing for complexity before it arrives. Research published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology links high levels of verbal rumination with stronger working memory capacity. Your brain isn't stuck. It's processing at a depth most people never reach. Sign 3. You talk to yourself, not in a concerning way, just quietly working through a problem out loud, or narrating what you're doing, or thinking through a decision by saying it rather than just thinking it. Studies from the University of Wisconsin found that self-directed speech significantly improves task performance and information retention. When you verbalize your thinking, you're forcing your brain to organize scattered thoughts into structured language. You're not talking to yourself. You're coaching your own mind through complexity. Sign 4. You get bored easily. Repetitive routines feel suffocating. Unchallenging tasks feel physically uncomfortable. You check out of conversations that aren't going anywhere. This isn't restlessness. It's your dopamine system running on a more demanding setting. Research shows that highly intelligent individuals have a faster reward prediction system. They extract less dopamine from simple or predictable tasks, which pushes their brain to constantly seek more complex and novel stimulation. Your brain isn't being difficult. It's hungry for a level most environments don't provide. Sign 5. You stay up late. Your best ideas come after midnight. Your mind wakes up when the world goes quiet. You've been told your whole life you need to fix your sleep schedule, but somehow the late hours feel like the only time your brain actually runs properly. Research from the London School of Economics found that people who naturally prefer late-night hours consistently score higher on measures of cognitive ability. The theory is that nocturnal thinking evolved as a sign of cognitive flexibility, the ability to override the body's default programming and operate outside instinctive patterns. Your night owl tendencies aren't a bad habit. They're your brain running on its own upgraded schedule. Sign 6. You're sensitive to your environment, ticking clocks, background conversations, the way a room feels slightly off. You notice things other people genuinely don't register. And it's not just noise. It's light, atmosphere, the emotional temperature of a room full of people. This is heightened sensory processing. Your nervous system collecting more data from your environment than average. And while it can lead to overstimulation, it's the same mechanism that makes highly intelligent people exceptional pattern recognizers. You're not oversensitive. Your brain is running a wider data collection net than most people are even aware is possible. Sign 7. You procrastinate on things that don't matter to you. Not everything. Just the stuff that feels pointless. The assignments with no real purpose. The tasks someone else decided were urgent. You drag your feet, then somehow pull it together at the last second, and the output is still good. Psychologists at the University of Calgary identified a pattern called active procrastination in high performers. Unlike passive procrastination, which is pure avoidance, active procrastination is a deliberate delay while your subconscious continues processing. Your brain is waiting until the stakes are real before it fully commits. That's not laziness. That's your mind being selective about where it spends its energy. Sign 8. You feel emotions more intensely than most people. This one surprises people the most because it doesn't match the stereotype. But research consistently links high emotional sensitivity with higher cognitive complexity. The brain regions responsible for deep thinking and the regions responsible for emotional processing are heavily interconnected. People who feel deeply also tend to think deeply. Empathy, emotional awareness, the ability to read a room. These are all forms of intelligence that don't show up on any test, but matter enormously in the real world. Sign 9. You remember strange, specific details. Not where you put your keys, not the name of the person you just met, but the exact detail from a documentary 3 years ago. The precise wording of something someone said in a conversation you weren't even fully paying attention to. A random fact that lodged itself in your memory without you trying. This is your associative memory at work, a brain that files information by connecting it to meaning, emotion, and context, rather than conscious effort. You don't remember everything. You remember everything that your brain decided was significant. That's not a broken memory. That's a selective and highly efficient one. Sign 10. You never feel like you know enough. Here it is, the one that shows up across the biographies of almost every high performer in history. The scientists, the philosophers, the builders, the creators, almost all of them shared one trait. A persistent, almost uncomfortable feeling that they still had more to learn. Psychologists call this need for cognition, an intrinsic drive to seek out, engage with, and deeply process complex information. It's not imposter syndrome. It's intellectual hunger. And the fact that you're here right now, watching a video to understand yourself better, to think more clearly, to close the gap between who you are and who you could be, that alone is the sign. The people who already think they know everything stopped growing a long time ago. You haven't. So here's the reframe. The self-doubt, the overthinking, the sensitivity, the late nights, the restlessness, the feeling of never knowing enough. None of that was a flaw. It was always the signal. Intelligence doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks exactly like you. If this hit different, subscribe. Every week, we break down the science of how your brain actually works and what it means for who you're becoming.